Hello everybody, welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and I thought I would do a weekend check-in to kind of see where the Divine Feminine is at, where the Masculine is at, what kind of energies we can expect when it comes to the journey this weekend. I know we just had the Sun that entered into Pisces, so I know there's a lot of extra heightened sensitivity, especially when it comes to the connection between the twins. So I'm going to start off by going over some energies that I channeled during meditation this morning. So for the Divine Feminine, the energies I feel surrounding a lot of the Divine Feminine collective right now is a lot of charm and beauty around the Divine Feminine, which really is kind of like attracting a lot of many genuine offers her way. I feel a lot of honest, loving offers coming forward for many of the feminines, with all of these kind of heightened romantic emotions and sensitivity surrounding the feminine. I feel this very maternal, radiating energy around the feminine, this nurturing essence when it comes to like the protection around the family, this Empress energy. A lot of creative and artistic potential, I feel, really is being unleashed for many of the Divine Feminines with this Pisces energy coming through. I also feel a lot of the feminines really are kind of stepping into that dedication when it comes to their mission, their purpose. I feel a lot of feminines really are kind of like career driven at this time when it comes to their spiritual career. When it comes to kind of just getting ahead in life, I feel a lot of the feminines really are doing very well, very comfortable. And I think there's a lot of recognition coming forward for the feminine as her reputation is kind of growing, is what came through. So I think a lot of respect and support is coming forward for the feminine with the tribe. And I feel a lot of the feminines really have been gaining that social status because the feminines kind of standing in that authentic artistic expression. And I also feel like the energy of a lot of inspiration, creative inspiration this weekend for the feminine. So you might feel inspired to paint, to draw, to dance, to sing. You might be really drawn to music and the arts this weekend. And I just feel like with the feminine, this overall satisfaction with her life at this point in time. It's quite possible that the feminine might be coming into forming some new business partnerships, is what I journaled about, and kind of like a lot of involvement when it comes to group efforts, spiritual pursuits, when it comes to group efforts. And I also feel this very attractive, sensual and sexual energy in and around the Divine Feminine, and this deep desire, this strong urge for intimacy coming up. And I feel on the low side, there's this spiraling layer of kind of going into that seed point when it comes to that father wound, why we've attracted all of these emotionally unavailable masculine energies. So I kind of feel the feminine really has those boundaries really firmly in place. And, you know, the offers that are being attracted are going to be genuine, are going to be honest, and are going to have love attached to that. And I just noticed 333. So I do feel a lot of the feminines really have mastered that alignment between the masculine and feminine within and in conjunction, you know, with God's source kind of stepping in to that mission work. And on the flip side, when it comes to the energies that I was kind of tapping into for the Divine Masculine Collective, I feel a lot of the masculines are really seeking to find that courage to take initiative, to kind of make a move towards the Divine Feminine, and to kind of like take the lead. I feel a lot of the masculines are feeling very intimidated by the Divine Feminine and her light and her standing in her power. But at the core, like at the seed point, I really do feel a lot of the Divine Masculines know exactly what it is that they want. And they really kind of just need to release those fears when it comes to coming forward and being direct, admitting this secret admiration with honesty and sincerity towards the Divine Feminine. I feel a lot of the masculines really are wanting to share this passionate desire that they're feeling for the feminine. And I feel they're really kind of learning how to stand up for themselves in the energies, really wanting to finally come forward and defend this connection. A lot of the masculines, you know, did not do the right thing in the past. And I feel this leadership, initiation energy coming through in order for the masculine to kind of finally do the right thing and to do what's right. So I feel, you know, the masculine's been so laser focused on material wealth, and there's this big ego release when it comes to this ego attachment. When it comes to the masculine finally taking ownership, I think, you know, he's really going into the depths of the underworld when it comes to questioning what really holds true value in his life. And it's like this battle, this internal struggle, this internal power struggle between satisfying the ego with all of these material possessions, money and power, or, you know, building through the heart center. So a lot of confusion when it comes to this power struggle coming up with all of these deep-seated emotions being triggered to the surface. I think there was a lot of admittance when it comes to the denial of this connection over the last week with that Leo full moon energy. I think a lot of the masculines have really tapped into a lot of strange psychic activities around them that they're kind of trying to make sense of. And, you know, I think, you know, that veil of illusion has been kind of shattered when it comes to the masculines really ignoring the karmic's negative character traits. So I feel, you know, although the masculine's been very vulnerable to this deception, I think there's a lot of scandal being exposed in the energy, which is creating this paranoia when it comes to people gossiping about the masculine, facing that social judgment, and I'm hearing social suicide. So there might be a lot of exposure on social media for the masculine when it comes to this deep dissatisfaction that's taken place in his life. Because I feel a lot of the masculines are at this emotionally exhausted rock bottom energy when it comes to this, you know, this victimizing energy, you know, playing the victim, victimization. I also feel a lot of the masculines have been severely neglected by the karmic when it comes to nurturing. And I do feel it's this energy of the masculine finally getting served a lot of his karma to kind of zero out the debt in order for them to kind of step into their healing energies. A lot of these masculines are healers, are nurturers, and I feel with all of this mental stress, there's a lot of mental stress with the masculine facing all of this opposition because of all of this conflicting energy going on internally that he's not wanted to bring out. A lot of this is being reflected in his physical reality with a lot of opposition with the social structure. A lot of conflicting situations are coming up to be addressed because of how the masculine kind of has compromised his integrity and, you know, at the expense of, you know, not having that peace in his life, not having that happiness. So I feel a lot of demanding conditions coming up for the masculine this weekend in order to spark those significant changes, in order to get the masculine to kind of open up to this vulnerability, this emotional vulnerability that he's been so resistant to, you know, open up to. So I think a lot of the masculines are really struggling with some poor health, stress, anxiety, quite possibly even digestion issues is what came up in order for them to embrace these fundamental changes. I also feel a lot of subconscious communication coming through for the masculine from the divine feminine's higher self. I know my masculine has been making quite the appearance in dream state recently. And in a dream last night, it was almost like he was asking me to reach out and communicate with him. So I feel a lot of the masculines are hoping like for the feminine to, you know, extend an olive branch. I think there's a lot of intense emotional reactions coming to the surface for the masculine as he moves deeper into the heart space of this transformation. Kind of trying to break the boundaries is what came through. I think a lot of the masculines are very possessive and obsessive right now when it comes to the divine feminine, towards the divine feminine as well, creating this impulsiveness when it comes to this passionate desire to be held by the divine feminine, and releasing kind of all of these things in and around him. Superficiality, I think that's no longer going to satisfy the masculine. And I feel children are coming up to be addressed for the masculine. But I feel this deep desire for intimacy in the energies this weekend is what I channeled in meditation. So let's jump in with some cards and see what other energies need to come through from Spirit and the guides with the cards for the weekend check-in. I was asked to pull some different decks. We're going to start off with the Past Life deck today. I don't use it very often. It's very hard to get your hands on one of these decks, so I don't like to use the deck very often. So bottom of the deck, we do have that imprisonment or slavery and health and finances. So I do feel a lot of financial struggles are coming up for the masculine. There might even be like maybe your masculine is having to go to court when it comes to some child support, some overdue child support, when it comes to perhaps an ex-spouse. I think cleaning up some financial troubles. I do think a lot of the masculines are struggling financially. You know, they're in this karmic imprisonment, and I do feel a lot of health issues coming up for the masculine that are needing to be addressed big time in the energy. And then we got the arts. So I do feel the feminine really is drawn to a lot of spiritual arts in the energies. And then we got Atlantis. So that timeline has been coming up quite a bit for myself. And then we got the biblical energy. So I think a lot of Akashic memories when it comes to the biblical timelines, the roots that the twins share, when it comes to the timeline of Christ, all the way back to Atlantis. So I feel a lot of ancient memories, and there is a lot of angelic protection surrounding the masculine as he goes into the depths of, you know, the root of this connection, just how deep, you know, these connections go. And then we got the galactic energy. So I feel a lot of galactic activations when it comes to the cellular DNA structure and, you know, the masculine coming into that remembrance of the vows of this committed partnership, of this higher contract. I also feel a lot of the masculines, you know, they stay silent for quite a long time on the journey. A lot of us, you know, still have not received that communication. Or if we do, it's very sporadic, and it's almost like they communicate and then they instantly retract. You know, being vulnerable is kind of what is coming up. And I also feel a lot of these masculines, you know, they signed that contract under duress about, you know, staying silent. And a lot of the feminines, you know, on the journey, a part of the higher contract and the karmic debt being paid back is a lot of the feminines vow, you know, take a vow of celibacy. So I feel coming out of those vows, because a lot of them were made under duress when it comes to these karmic relationships. I feel the masculine is coming into the awareness of the karmic versus the divine feminine, as a lot of the veils of illusions are shattered when it comes to this imprisonment. I feel a lot of the masculines, you have that orphan flipped right out. So going into that abandonment wound, a lot of these masculines have a very deep abandonment wound when it comes to the mother. And I feel that's kind of coming up again to be felt. The masculine is really learning to mother himself, nurture himself, coming into, you know, this deep understanding of his mission with the earth. So let's see what else needs to come through. There's that vow energy again. So what else can you tell me about the energies this weekend for the twins? Spirituality and religion. So I feel this flame has kind of been lit for the masculine. And then we get that communal living really wanting to come through. So you think about it, we're kind of here to work as that community. A lot of the masculines, I feel, are being shown their mission when it comes to the Akashic records, when it comes to stepping into that leadership role for the spiritual community. I feel, you know, really trying to find his way through the darkness, going through this abandonment wound, and really, really going deep into this lesson of forgiveness. A lot of these masculines have harbored resentment, played the blame game, have not wanted to really look at this connection because of the depth of the intensity of the emotions attached. You know, a lot of us really don't spend a lot of time with our counterparts before we go into separation. And, you know, for many of us, it's been years, yet this person is always on the heart, is always, you know, in your thoughts. And you think to yourself, how can a person that really was not that, you know, big of a part of my life. How can they have this kind of effect on me? But I do feel a lot of the masculines are learning some major karmic lessons. I kind of feel because the time is now to come forward with that forgiveness. And then we get the scribe or the writer. So maybe the masculine is, you know, journaling. I do highly suggest journaling about the epiphanies and the prophetic messages that are coming through Divine Feminine. A lot of us are encouraged to kind of rewrite history. A lot of us are here to kind of journal and write about our experiences. And then we have the knighthood that's coming up. So I think a lot when it comes to the timeline of the Knights Templars, if you think of, you know, Friday the 13th and, you know, the energy of protecting the Holy Grail, there's a lot going on when it comes to brotherhood and, you know, community. And I feel a lot of the masculines are kind of getting ready to step up into that knighthood, to be that protector, to be that guardian. And there is a lot of integration when it comes to the masculine feminine principles from within. So I feel, you know, we're still not really looking at one another. We're kind of, you know, still integrating these energies. I feel the masculine doesn't want to turn around and look at the feminine because it really is that trigger when it comes to that mother wound, that original abandonment wound with the mother. And I also feel like the masculine knows the only place that he's going to feel that warmth, that nurturance that he's craving from that mother energy is the divine feminine. Because I do feel a lot of the masculines are lacking that nurturing with the karmic contract. So there's a lot of integration as the masculine kind of opens up to this forgiveness. So let's grab from the Starseed Oracle deck next. So the Lost Land. So a lot of soul memories when it comes to the past timelines that the counterparts share. A lot of remembrance when it comes to, you know, we've done this before. And I do feel, you know, the masculine's at that rock bottom, needing to right these past wrongs once and for all. I think a lot of uprooting, a lot of upheaval to bring the masculine to that rock bottom, to his knees. A lot of defenselessness as the masculine is kind of being asked to make amends, to protect this connection, to step into loyalty, safety, and trust. You know, a lot of these masculines have tried to micromanage these connections, to micromanage their life. And I feel the feminine's really resonating at that highest frequency, which is in turn creating this shift for the masculine to really dive deep into the past life memories, stepping into sovereignty. So do keep your boundaries up, your energetic boundaries up. A lot of us really have been absorbing a lot of the collective heaviness that's really not ours to carry. And, you know, we all have a soul family that we can reach out to ask for that help. And I feel trust in the timing. I do feel we're coming into that first wave of unions and time is not running out. But the masculine really is being asked to take action in the energies, to follow his intuition. I think a lot of things really aren't making sense in the divine masculine's world because he's cracked open. He's hitting that rock bottom, being asked to kind of surrender to the alchemy of these cosmic forces, to the alchemy of this connection. We'll see what else needs to come through. Okay, yeah, that really wanted to stick out. So the masculine really needs to ask for that support. I think a lot of the masculines fear seeking that support and that guidance because it makes them feel weak, or they're perceived as looking down on as weak. But a lot of the masculines are absorbing a lot of heaviness right now, going into that inner child healing. So that's where the golden gifts lies, in that inner child core wound. So that mother wound coming up very strongly for the masculine when it comes to abandonment, when it comes to being orphaned. I know from my own personal journey, my masculine, both of his parents are deceased. So, you know, that's a really tough energy to, you know, heal. And I feel a lot of the masculines really are kind of zooming out. They're kind of in this void, trying to find that common ground right now as they're kind of hitting this rock bottom. I think a lot of them have been ripped wide open with that Leo full moon. A lot of merging when it comes to the alchemical union between the masculine and the feminine and with the divine. So soul star activations, that soul star chakra, and that's like that halo energy. You know, many of the feminines look at the masculine in the beginning of the connection like with this halo, and I feel the roles have been reversed, and now the feminine's halo is glowing in order for the masculine to embrace this evolution at this time. So we're going to use the Beyond Lemuria deck. I don't use this deck often, so I will read the cards intuitively, but I felt a lot of upper chakra activations is what came through. I do feel a lot of the lower chakras are really blocked right now. You know, and the masculine does really need to come forward with that communication when it comes to this co-creative journey. So there's that surrendering to the fall of the ego is what I feel taking place for the masculines, you know, going through this profound transformation. And they know it's kind of time to come forward with that communication in order to kind of balance all of these cosmic forces. Fire and ice is what I'm hearing. So yeah, there's a lot of higher ether activity going on in the divine masculine's mind space as he really kind of grounds this initiation. So we'll keep going and see what else needs to come through for this weekend check-in. Communication, that's really going to be a big thing. The masculine really needs to open up the gateways of communication, and I feel the feminine's really this portal keeper, opening up the portal of these activations for this healing light to go into the masculine's heart space, because the masculine, I feel, is completely energetically depleted, really needing to reclaim back his personal energy. And I feel he is graciously receiving this healing light from the divine feminine at this time when it comes to these changes. So I feel this sublimation coming through, a lot of fire activation, a lot of passion being restored as the masculine, you know, activates that throat chakra and comes forward and speaks that truth to merge with the divine feminine beyond the mind, beyond the mind. So there's a lot of overflow when it comes to the divine masculine's emotions at this time. So I think feminine, be prepared to receive some communication from your counterpart. We're going to grab a couple shamanic healing messages. Emotional release, forgiveness. There's that emotional purging that I felt in order for this growth. So through the purging and, you know, the piercing of the veil, these perceptions are being shifted. And I feel a lot of the masculines really are learning to use their discernment. There is a lot of ancient wisdom coming through. And I feel the masculines finally being, you know, forced to face this omen. A lot of us, you know, the journey feels like a curse at times. And I feel the masculine really is, you know, paying back these debts, that omen energy. I'm being shown the 5 of Wands. So there's that power struggle taking place as all of these illusions kind of are stripped and shattered. So I think there's a lot of anger as well as the masculine kind of releases that base chakra energy in order to kind of tap into that soul star chakra to reach these unlimited possibilities of the higher realities. That one really wanted to come out. Joy. You know, I think through the shedding of the illusions and the releasing of the emotions, the masculine really is tapping into this unlimited joy, this universal oneness of the higher realities. And there's a lot being balanced with the masculine feminine principle, with the yin yang, with the perceptions of all of this ancient Akashic wisdom. And there's that anger. I feel a lot of the masculines have been stung by the karmic, stung by that scorpionic tail. There's a lot of anger coming up as part of this transformation. So I think a lot of sacred rage as the masculine spirals through all of these healing processes to close out this worldly cycle. So I think a lot of fragmented traveling when it comes to the past, the present, and the future. I feel a lot of innovation when it comes to the future timelines. And the masculine, I feel, is deeply struggling. He's been swimming upstream for such a long time. You know, resisting, persisting, resisting, persisting. And I think everything's just finally coming crashing down because divine time says it's time. It's divine timing to come forward with that truth. There is a new beginning here, but that resistance is coming through. You know, because the masculine is here to step into that spiritual teaching role with the divine feminine. So I feel there is going to be an opportunity to restore the deep roots that the twins do share. We will grab some chakra messages. Honesty. I think the masculine knows he has to come forward with 100% transparency with his communication. It has to come forward with sincerity, truth, and honesty. And yes, I do believe a lot of the counterparts have been interacting in dream space. So a lot of signs, symbols, synchronicities, prophetic messages in dream space. And so if you're dreaming about your counterpart, divine feminine, odds are the masculine is also dreaming about you. There's a lot of insights coming through in dream space when it comes to the masculine awakening from his slumber. I think the masculine's finally coming into this deep inner understanding and going through a period of self-evaluation is kind of what I'm feeling. And yeah, pay attention to the music. I think a lot of the masculines are sending a lot of telepathic messages through music. So do pay attention to the music and stay present. I think the masculine is really silencing the ego for these higher vibrations to kind of come in. And I feel the feminine is, you know, just waiting for that communication. I think if you are, you know, if you're in the present moment, divine feminine, a lot of our current reality can restore this connection by staying in the now, in the present. So I kind of feel there's this deep craving for the divine feminine. It's almost like the energy is beckoning the masculine forward. Definitely. So play in to the energies, divine feminine. You know, turn the music on, really tap into that sacral creative juices, go into meditation and pull that energy into your sacral chakra in order to, you know, go into that sacred space with your divine counterpart in the 5D energies. I think the feminine really is coming into this balanced emotional harmony. The feminine's really fluid in the energies. I think a lot of stability and peace as the feminine kind of goes deep into trusting all of these intuitive insights and hits. A lot of awareness coming through for the divine feminine this weekend, I feel. And the masculine really is tapping into this divine consciousness when it comes to the relationships he's connected with. So there is this intimacy, this acceptance of this intimacy with the divine feminine coming up for the masculine. Trusting in the energies. I think he's really getting ready to embrace freedom as he comes into the oneness and interconnectedness of this expansive light journey with the divine feminine. And I feel a lot of the masculines are getting back into integrity, compassion. I think the masculines are going to come back completely evolved with a lot of empathy and gentleness that they did not kind of bring forward in the past. So a lot of cosmic intelligence, a lot of ancient knowledge is being returned, and these perceptions are shifting. So there's that possession energy. So this is where the masculine's been at, hoarding all of these belongings, finances, assets, and I feel he's losing a lot of assets in the energy in order for him to, you know, step into faith and to really support his spirituality at this time. So definitely the sensuality is being invoked or evoked in the divine masculine this weekend. A lot of evolutionary downloads. And there's that throat chakra, that temple of truth. So, you know, the masculine's really been backed into a corner. A lot of third eye visions, I feel, coming through when it comes to this Akashic Stargate portal opening. And a lot of Palladian activations when it comes to authentic self-expression. And I feel, yeah, this cosmic ordering, I kind of feel the masculine's mission has finally been unveiled, uncovered. And it's this acceptance of this truth and the purging of, you know, all of the pain as he really remembers his soul family, his home, because the stars really are aligning for the twins to step into this authenticity at this time. So definitely divine order is in focus when it comes to the energies this weekend. We're going to see what else needs to come through. Crown chakra upgrade, higher heart activation. So a lot of energy getting the masculine to align with his purpose. He's been going down the wrong path for such a long time, and he's been sitting at this crossroads for a very, very long time. And I feel this harmony is being restored as the masculine reaches some resolution. So there's a lot being karmically released when it comes to the lineage, like the family lineage, the bloodline lineage. A lot of boundaries being instilled in the divine masculine's world. I think he really is experiencing this holy love of the divine feminine. And I'm hearing that Justin Bieber song, Holy, Holy, the way you hold me is so holy. So I feel the masculine is feeling the feminine's love in and around him. And this is allowing the masculine to drop those shields around his heart, to embrace this divine love, and to step into healing. So there's a lot of fears coming up when it comes to financial security, and having to kind of lay that foundation from that 0 point again, starting over from that 0 point, walking through the portal by speaking that truth, because there's a lot of energy coming up when it comes to the sacredness of the Holy Grail energy that the divine feminine holds within her heart. And, you know, the masculine is also, you know, he is what he is seeking from the divine feminine. We are not separate from one another. So a lot of inner discoveries taking place with all of this light immersion and these light code activations coming in as the masculine kind of goes through this full system DNA cellular upgrade in the energies is kind of what I'm feeling. We'll get a couple of these. Freedom, death. There's that ego death energy. So major endings in order for this new beginning. So there's a lot of grieving taking place for the masculine. I do feel he feels like he has completely lost the feminine. And we kind of have to go through that separation in order to appreciate our other half and to not take them for granted. So I think the feminine's perseverance is paying off. And this really is triggering that profound life change for the masculine to find his inner strength, to face all of these fears with confidence, to come forward and releasing that blame game. A lot of these masculines like to blame everybody for their problems. And this death energy really is bringing the masculine to his knees when it comes to acceptance. A lot of changes that he really has no control over is what I feel taking place in the energies this weekend. Judgment, definitely facing that final karmic judgment, and going through all of the layers of grief, rage, regret, guilt, remorse, facing a lot of unique challenges as he goes through this judgment energy. But ultimately on the other side, there is this limitless abundance that I feel that the feminine has manifested into her physical reality. And there's a lot of guilt coming up for the masculine to release when it comes to the denial of this connection on his heart. So I feel he's really releasing a lot of false beliefs in the energies this weekend that really are no longer helping him on his journey when it comes to his soul's growth, evolution. And he's really feeling that fear. I think he does fear the feminine now will deny him because he has denied the divine feminine for such a long time. But a lot of insight and awareness is coming through, asking the masculine to replace that fear with faith. So he might come forward and offer a friendship first, but I think he is seeking that happiness with you, and he is deeply worried that you're not going to forgive him. I think a lot of the masculines fear that you're still harboring resentment, which is blocking attracting this relationship in. So the masculine really is learning to surrender the need to control the energies is kind of what I'm feeling. So let's jump in with some tarot and see what else needs to come through. 7 of Cups, 5 of Cups. So that's where the masculine's at, grieving the loss. All the cups are spilt. Definitely facing that judgment, disillusionment, being haunted by the past. When it comes to not choosing the divine feminine, choosing the snake, I feel, yeah, definitely a lot of guilt coming up for the masculine to work through as he kind of aligns to his purpose. So we're going to get the divine masculine's current energy, the Lover's reverse. So that contract is over. Definitely a separation that the masculine is going through. And definitely that ego death. So we got the death with the 5 of Cups, the Fool, and the 7 of Cups come out again. So there's that ego death. Profound life change. Everything is decaying all around the masculine, I feel, as he goes through this judgment energy. When it comes to restoring the balance within these connections. 7-5, we get 2. So there is a brand new beginning here. The masculine really is learning to take that leap of faith. And then we get this huge pile. We get the 9 of Cups, which is near future energies. The Queen of Swords, the Moon, Pisces energy, Scorpio energy, Gemini, Aries coming through very strongly. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We got the Hermit, the King and Queen of Pentacles. Beautiful. So, you know, the masculine really is going within, looking at the value of this connection. We have the 3 of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and the 9 of Swords. So, Virgo energy, Earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We got Pisces with that moon. Something about that Pisces new moon, I think the masculine will likely come forward. I feel the feminine is radiating at this time. There's a lot of truth being exposed, which is in turn creating this haunting energy surrounding the masculine. I think he cannot escape these guns going off in his head when it comes to this truth washing over him, when it comes to taking that step forward. I feel there's been a lot of addictions, a lot of overindulgence with the karmic contract. So this Queen of Swords energy is kind of feeling like the ex, and I feel she's really put in some blocks when it comes to the masculine communicating. I also fear the masculine fears the karmic seeking revenge against the divine feminine. So there's almost like this protective energy coming forward for the divine feminine on the masculine's behalf. Your masculine could be dealing with this Queen of Swords. I feel with the 9 of Cups and the moon, though, there's like addictions here. Definitely some lies, some secrets. I feel the karmic is watching the masculine very closely. She's not happy. I think she's got something up her sleeve when it comes to some manipulative behaviors. She knows the masculine is in love with the feminine, going towards the feminine. And I think trying to, you know, keep the masculine under her spell with addictions, over drinking, indulgences. So let's see what's hidden below the surface. Because the message from the masculine's higher self is there is a new beginning here. He is going through this ego death, going through this rebalancing. So the masculine's really going within. He sees clearly where the success lies. The King and Queen of Pentacles, they build empires. They're business owners. They're very, very grounded, very stable. And I feel this block with the ex. So I kind of feel like it's completely over with the karmic, but she's still creating those blocks. So under the surface, we get the 5 of Wands. So there's that power struggle. There's that, you know, combative energy. When it comes to the masculine, you know, I feel the masculine's delivered that message like, hey, I'm manifesting a reunion with the divine feminine. I'm focused, I'm laser focused on that higher level of commitment. And there's all of this struggle. I feel the masculine's going to war with the social structure, with the karmic. There's a lot of battling when it comes to the masculine kind of hitting that rock bottom. I think he's held on, you know, for stability, for financial stability, but he's getting ready to quickly come forward and communicate that there's been a profit and a loss, a karmic rebalancing. We will see what a potential outcome is, and we get the Emperor. So I feel the masculine really is rising to the occasion and coming in for that union with the Four of Wands. And it surely has been like a spiral, but the masculine is rising in his authority. So I want to get clarification on this Lover's energy. The Lover's reverse, the Two of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, Nine of Wands. Yeah, there's going to be some communication. I feel that he's been withholding out of protection when it comes to this vengeful, malicious, karmic feminine energy. But there is, without a doubt, a realignment. He's releasing something lesser for something better. And although there's been a lot of blocked communication, I think it's been because of the power struggles in the karmic situation. When it comes to this union, there's a lot of divine protection surrounding these unions, and the masculine is quickly coming in with a lot of passionate communication. And yeah, because he's been grieving 444 divine protection. So, you know, he sees clearly the divine feminine, where success lies. The feminine sitting in a very good position, very abundant, very stable, very grounded. And there comes that new offer, because the masculine's at the crossroads when it comes to this brand new passionate beginning. But there's going to need to be a confession when it comes to the past lies, the deception, and this stagnancy is kind of what I'm feeling. So let's see what needs to come through for the divine feminine for the weekend check-in. I haven't really checked in to the feminine and the feminine's energy. So we'll get the divine feminine's current energy for the weekend check-in, please. And I'm going to use the Mermaid deck. King of Cups, the Hanged Man. So I feel the feminine is feeling very stuck, just waiting for this truth to come forward. I think the feminine knows that the masculine deeply loves her. I think a lot of the feminines, you know, are fully aware that the masculine has self-sacrificed, kind of in this state of, you know, pity party me. He's, you know, I feel the feminine's just, I think feeling a lot of the masculine's love in the energy is what I feel this weekend. So a message from the feminine's higher self. The Four of Swords. So you are encouraged to really just go within. I do feel another layer of unthawing your heart. A lot of the feminines have that wall up, that guard up, that metal barrier around their heart. So you are encouraged to unthaw the heart, divine feminine, because you're giving birth to this brand new life, near future. The Empress. So you're birthing this brand new life. Get ready for that apology for all of the past deception, lying, stealing, cheating, because there is a karmic rebalancing, and the masculine is coming forward with that new love offer. So just sit on that throne. I do think you got a lot of offers coming in, and what's hidden below the surface is the ultimate abundance. So the masculine is rushing in with that Knight of Swords, with a lot of communication to build that solid foundation, that family legacy with you. I also feel a lot of ancestral protection, a lot of guardian protection around the feminine as this karmic rebalancing comes full circle with the Justice. Excuse me. Yep, get ready. I think you are grounded, you're stable, you're really in a good position, divine feminine, with the Queen of Pentacles, and the masculine is coming in for that reunion. So do get ready to receive a message. It might be a text message, social media, email, something small to kind of test the waters, because I do feel the masculine is deeply, deeply wounded, and he is seeking that resolution. And I think there's fear about facing the betrayal with the karmic feminine when it comes to this brand new beginning. But there is going to be a new beginning here. So let's get a couple last messages from Spirit, please. What else can you tell me about this weekend check-in for the twins? So, you know, what we've been through as a collective can really only make us stronger. I do feel a lot is being illuminated in the masculine's world this weekend. When it comes to this spiritual path, I think the worst is over, and there's definitely new perspectives being gained as the masculine kind of looks through the lens of the divine feminine's point of view. And he really is working on getting honest with himself about everything that's been going on. So if you're wondering if a reunion is possible this weekend, the answer is yes. We'll grab a couple last twin flame messages. We will see what the feminine would like, or what the masculine would like the feminine to know, especially for those that are in zero communication. I know you're right, but I need to come to my own conclusions. I don't think the masculine likes to admit being wrong. That's part of the ego, part of the denial. So, you know, there's that fear that maybe we're different. And let's face it, we really have transformed. A lot of the feminines are not the same person that the divine masculine encountered the first time around. So there's this void still in the masculine that he's trying to kind of figure out. But I kind of feel like he's reminded of you constantly, which is really spooking him out a bit. And I do think he just wishes he could take back the negative things that he said to you. I think there's a lot of regrets. And he doesn't know how he feels because he's so far deep into this guilt and this remorse because you're being haunted, or he's being haunted by you. And I feel, you know, he's really trying to close out that karmic cycle. I think he wants you to understand that he's having a hard time with that third party interference. And he's so deeply affected. I think he feels you constantly, divine feminine. So be patient as the masculine activates that throat chakra and finds a way to come forward with that self-expression to, you know, bring forward that new beginning in love, because the masculine really is deeply hurting over, you know, going in the wrong direction when he chose the wrong lover. And there's a lot being reflected back to the masculine when it comes to all of this withholding and not wanting to come forward and face that judgment. But I do feel a lot of the masculines are saying no to the situation that's been fraught with deception. They're learning that it's kind of time to walk away. They've spent a lot of time holding on to something that's not been working. And there's this huge release because the masculine is preparing to come back and compromise. So open up your mind and your heart, divine feminine. The masculine is releasing this victimization, this self-pity party, and he has the power to make a different choice. So I feel he will be making a different choice this weekend, and that's what I've got for a check-in. I hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you would like to book a twin flame or a personal reading with me, please feel free to check out the description box below, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.